Hey everybody, how are you doing today? It's Dr. Cindy Stark coming in here for my Tuesday at 2, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've been coming in for the past year and a half at least, maybe a little bit longer now. And I've been talking about anything and everything that has helped lead to my healing. And it might not just be healing of my physical body, but it might be, and more importantly, even be um, the healing of my spiritual body, my soul body, kind of like so that you can get into congruence and alignment with everything in your life. So as you're coming in, if you can type in hashtag live, and if you're coming in for the replay, it'll be pinned to the top of my uh, personal Facebook page. Then just type in hashtag replay and let me know where you're from. But again, my name is Dr. Cindy Stark. I have been a hospitalist for the past 15 years in Gainesville. And part of what I'm going to talk about today is how showing myself some self love and really getting to know the other parts of me. I call those inner children, younger versions of myself that have all the wisdom. Otherwise, you kind of went through everything that you went through for nothing. And it is my opinion that God sets each one of us on this path. We choose our parents. We come in on this physical body in this lifetime so that we can have a certain experience of life and learn certain lessons that God meant for us and only us, so that we can impact our people and our unique people that we come in contact with in this life on this soul's journey. So anyway, for the past 15 years I've been a hospitalist, and about 8 months ago, April 1st last year, I went into semi retirement. And it had been something that had been on my heart since I was about 42 or 43 years old. And finally, I kind of got up the courage to speak to my boss about it. And it's been the best decision I've ever made. And the reason is because I still get to be a hospitalist. It's amazing. I spent 30 years from age 17 to age um, 33 in training in school. Well, really, if you think about it, birth, age 5 to age 33, I spent all that time in training, whether it was, all the different schooling I went through, and then undergraduate, MD, PhD, and residency, so that I could take care of patients. And anyway, so after I went into semi retirement, I realized what I really wanted to do is just not work 26 days a month, 14 hours a day. What I really wanted to do is keep taking care of patients, but on my own terms. So, anyway, that's what I've been doing, and it's afforded me the luxury of, like, today. You might see that I'm coming from someplace different, and I'm in my business coach's office. I'm at Melissa Gale Searles' house, Melissa in the house, and I'm here for the week to just kind of do life with her um, and just build our businesses together. So, what one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today, and as always, if this, I wanted to say, um, if this Facebook Live resonates with you, I'm going to make it shareable. So please share it once you watch it. Nothing is more of a compliment to me than when my people feel a resonance with my message and then they share it with other people. So I'll make this shareable. But what I've done since I went into semi-retirement is work full time on all kinds of healing so that I can bring you guys a version of what has become very apparent to me while I've been practicing medicine at the bedsides of America. And I'm going to mention it again briefly today. I go into a lot of details on last Tuesdays at 2 talk. So just, scroll down my feed and you'll see it. But I dropped the Jessica program. And the Jessica program is this: it is a 6-week program. It only involves about 30 to 60 minutes of your Sundays. I'm going to be hosting the meetings at 5 p.m. my time. And so that's Eastern. And it goes weekly from February 19th until April 2nd. So it's a 6-week program. I'm taking off the week of spring break, which is March the 5th, because I'm taking my kids somewhere fun. And then, and what it is it is The reason it's called the Jessica is because it stands for J is for joy, E is for energy, S is for sleep, S is for soul and spirit, I is for immune system, C is for either creativity or community, and then the other A is for adventure. And these are my wellness blend proprietary rituals, knowledge that I've gained at the Bedsides of America, things to help people shore up their health, their physical health, so that they never come into the hospital, essentially. But also, it's just how to go into whatever phase of your life that you're in, go into it with as much energy and vim and vigor as you can. And if you show yourself some love before Valentine's Day, it's only $222. You get 6 hours of my time, like I said, 6 Sundays in a row, except for March 5th, and then also homework each week, and then a group community setting. So if you are interested in that, you can either in the comments write Jessica or write I'm interested. And as soon as I get that link, I will send it to you. But basically, if you invest in yourself before, if you enroll into this Jessica program before Valentine's Day, if you show yourself some love, the love that you deserve, that, I mean, how else could you for $222 learn from 100,000 patient experiences? Everyone with their trials and tribulations. I take notes every single day that I work. Something's going on. Okay. And I'm going to teach it to you live, just what I've uniquely seen from 100,000 patient encounters, things that will help you increase this physical body that we live in, so that you can go forth and use your something is happening to Facebook and it's driving me crazy. Okay, hopefully I'm seeing everybody. Can y'all just say everything looks good and sounds good? It keeps telling me to close unused applications and change the frames per second. I look pretty normal, so I'm hoping I'm coming in here and y'all are hearing me good. But anyway, if you show yourself some love and you enroll before February 14th, Valentine's Day, then you can get in for $222. After Valentine's Day, it's $333, and I will start the Sunday after Valentine's Day. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that. Ashley Maddox. I appreciate. Yeah, I look completely fine. It just is trying to distract me by saying, action needed, action needed. Anyway, so that's one thing I just wanted to briefly talk about. That's coming up soon. But for today, that's really not what I wanted to talk about at all. Today, I wanted to talk about something that, being with my business coach, Melissa, overnight last night, kind of, she said something to me that I'm like, man, most people are not going to get to hear people drop truth bombs like this. And I just really wanted to share it with you, and because I hope that it touches you the way that it touches me. But she was talking to me about the difference between confidence and conviction. And basically, I was telling her that I just need to work on my confidence to get, my Jessica program into the world, and other things that are on my heart. I have all kinds of offerings, and sometimes I just don't have the confidence to get them out to the world. And she said, Cindy, you don't lack confidence. She said, there's a difference. What you lack is conviction about that program. She said, you are so confident in so many ways, and you have been. I mean, that's why you're a doctor. You are, when your confidence and your conviction kind of melds together, and they get married, and then you are able to set yourself on a path of, staying healthy, and everything I've learned to stay healthy, and everything I did so I could raise my kids in my in my home while they were in their childhood years. Everything that I wanted to discover about the power of the human spirit, and how I uniquely ventured onto a 2-year journey to cross the finish line of an Ironman triathlon, 17 hours of biking and swimming, followed by running. Because, I mean, I had the confidence all along. I just had to get convicted about something. So that just really got me thinking, like, it's not that I'm not confident. I have the confidence that I need. What it is putting that confidence into a channel. And so I don't know if that resonates with anybody here today, but that was just like really huge for me. To realize I don't have to kind of like reinvent the wheel of confidence. I just have to kind of turn it somewhere. And one thing I've been doing that I really wanted to share with you, and I'm going to pull it out of my personal journaling pages over here. But I have been so ever since I decided I wanted to do something different than medicine, I wanted to really help people get healthy. I have a heart for helping others, and especially people who have gone through anything specifically, uniquely kind of, to me, like none of us are unique. We all have these themes of human experience. And there's a specific type of person that I love helping obliterate the self-limiting beliefs that I was always plagued with. Okay, and so I developed I'll get to this piece from my journaling in just a second. But I developed a 12-week online transformational program. It's a group setting. It's also a one-on-one setting. A lot of one-on-one time with me, and it's about rewiring your subconscious mind to get rid of any effects that any person, place, or thing had on you when you were younger, to just kind of like fill your gestalts up. So part of your subconscious mind that I work with in my program is the reticular activating system, and that's why my program is 12 weeks long, because it takes 12 weeks to clear out all the limiting gunk and data that's messing up the wiring there for you to live your kick-ass life. And so it's 12 weeks long, and it's specifically meant for people that are really sick and tired of being sick and tired. People who have done a lot of work on themselves, read a lot of books, kind of come up to this program with, I've done so much work on myself, Cindy, but I need to get to that next level because I'm still not living the life that I know I'm meant to live. So what is missing here? And within 12 short weeks, we can identify unique, specific subconscious blocks to your greatness, things that happen to you uniquely. We spend the first 6 weeks uncovering everything in your influences, all the people, places, and things that made you think a certain thing about yourself, and then another week on limiting beliefs, and another week on limiting emotions. And the people I get the best results for, like I said, are people that are in this phase of their life where it's kind of like, I see it as the second half of your life. I've had great results for people all the way from 30 years old to 76 years old. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be like second half of your life, 55 and up. That's not what it is. And so if you know what the outcome is going to be when you are that particular person, that's a good candidate, right? When you're that person, when you're the second half of your life, when you've already tried a lot of things and you have one specific thing that is just like you keep getting stuck on and you just don't know why. You've done all this self-growth, all this journaling, all these books, all these psychologists, therapists, whatever you've done, and then but you still are missing that last little piece. That's where my program shines, because we go in there and we figure out the one or two or 22 things that are stopping you from, like, it's literally like, I see it as almost like you're trying to go forward, but there's like a brick wall. And your reticular activating system is full of all these different gestalts of emotions and beliefs and things that are plaguing your forward progress in your life. And when you get rid of those gestalts and those are able to self-regulate, the world is your oyster. You can do anything that you want to do. And I myself, I took 17 courses, and I know some of y'all don't even know what that's like to take 17 courses, but I love educating myself. I'm a perpetual student, but I was just like trying. Once I decided I wanted to bring real healing to the world, and I did not care whether that was through a book, through speaking from Stages of America, or helping people online, or in my home, small spiritual retreats, any forum or medium that I could possibly use. But I wanted to help people get better and realize that their past does not equal their future, and that your whatever it is, like your generational sins that kind of run in your family, that doesn't have anything to do with where you are coming from here on forward. And when I decided I wanted to do that, and I had taken 17 different courses in it, the 17th one, and I knew I never needed to take another course again, was the one that helped me regulate these gestalts and get rid of these limiting beliefs that I had no idea. The main thing that was ruling my entire world is that you're not worthy. And that thought came to me is that, so I was interpreting it as you're not worthy of success, but it came to me from when I was 14 and raped in my own bed in my own home, from my brother's friends that were high as a kite. I was not worthy of protection by my family. That's how I saw it. I saw my mom and dad did not protect me from my brother's friends, and like I don't know what made that, that scenario happen in my childhood, but it was the best gift that I could have ever been given. But because of that, because of my discovery of that one self limiting belief, I have been able now to help dozens of people. And right now I only have 4 different forums of helping them, but help them realize what their self limiting beliefs are and get rid of it once and for all. So, if that sounds like somebody that you are, you could just, put in the comments Soul Circle Academy, or I'm interested in your 12-week program, because I would love to, get on the phone with you and see if it would be a fit for you. But in that 4 year process of learning what it was going to take to kind of completely switch gears in midlife here and stop from being a full-time doctor at the bedside, in the hospitals, the bedsides of America, over to helping people literally root out limiting beliefs that are stuck up here, and then going on to their regular, their paths that God intended them to have. I met Melissa, right? And that's why I'm here right now. And when she was telling me that one little thing about confidence and conviction, that really opened up my eyes huge. And then in my walk, I really see it as almost like, once you realize what has been holding you back and God reveals this to you, then you're almost able to kind of walk in a pocket of his love, and he just kind of shows you things, and he literally gives you breadcrumbs to show you, yep, that's right, nope, that wasn't it, yep, that one's right, that's not it. And so I've been taking these art classes from this lady named Raina, and she's a neurobiologist, and she's also a TV cooking show host, and she also does something called internal family systems. And it's almost like parts integration, if anyone's ever heard of that. I myself do parts integration with some of my clients. And it's almost like, the way I see it is that, okay, so I met Raina through having these art classes, and one of them specifically was to help you identify your limiting beliefs around money. And I got so much clarity on that 1 hour art session that I actually have booked one-on-one time with her to really, really dig deep, as I am from a family of not my family itself, but the families before them, poverty, right? So my mom's mom and dad grew up in the Depression, and they had to save like every single little tiny piece of aluminum foil they had. And they literally had no idea where their next meal was coming from. And then my father, he came from Virginia, and he was a tobacco farmer when he was younger, and their crops produced so little, I guess, and brought in so little income that he had burlap sacks. He wore burlap sacks for clothes, and he didn't even brush his teeth until he was 12 years old. No one had any kind of toothbrushes or toothpaste back then. And that was just my mom and dad, but born in 43 and 45. So I knew I had a lot of money blocks. Well, anyway, there could be money blocks in me that were blocking me, because I'm thinking I'm in the Great Depression and I'm wearing a burlap sack. Part of my DNA is coded into thinking that. And so I ended up having a one-on-one session with Raina, and I wanted to tell y'all a little bit about the journaling that she does afterwards. That's helped me really, really identify, I call them inner children of myself, younger versions of myself that are helping me right here, right now, if I just knew how to communicate with them so that they can propel me forward. And if you want to go to any of these art classes, they're integrative, they're very small things. I can send you that link too, but I feel like I'm telling y'all too many things that you can ask me more questions about. But anyway, her art classes are amazing. So one thing I realized is that there is this version of me, and I called her Nancy in my time with Raina, having this kind of parts integration / internal family systems session with her last week. And she was the version of me that just goes to classes after classes after classes after classes, getting all kinds of knowledge, but not letting Cindy 53.0, this is Cindy in her 53rd year. I see this as Cindy 53.0. Nancy just kind of keeps collecting all this data and all these skills, and she's not letting Cindy jump, or she's part of Cindy, but she's kind of blocking somehow Cindy from being the biggest version of herself that she can. And so instead of being mad at that version of me that's collected all this knowledge, and I still am not living 100% the lifestyle that I want to live, and I'm still not helping as many people as I want to help, to be completely and frankly honest, instead of being mad at that Nancy version who's taken all the courses and just not implementing them all in such a way to let me reach as many people as I want to, love on that Nancy and appreciate her for what she is. And it's, instead of like going like this constantly, where I'm just like so mad at myself and I'm fighting against myself, I now love Nancy. And what Raina suggested I do is that I get to know her more intimately and try to become friends with her again. And so I've been taking aside the first hour of my day every day and talking to this inner child of mine and the things. So after we talk, I journal, and this one thing that she came up with, and I'm just gonna kind of, I do not believe I'm a good drawer, but this is Cindy, right? And this is everything that I have learned is been here in my brain. I hear it, and it's in my brain, and it goes into my heart. But the only way that it's going to reach other humans is if it goes into my feet and my hands, okay? So my feet and my hands. So if you just imagine that brain, that heart, and then you got to speak up. You absolutely have to be able to speak up, or no one, you can have all the hands and feet you want to, but if you don't use your voice, no one's going to know what you're trying to help them with and what you can help them with. And so down here at the end, it was all very visual this particular day. I said the brain plus my ears going into my heart, and then adding in my throat, add in my hands and my feet, okay? My hands and my feet there. That ends up giving me a rocket ship where I propel my message and help the people that I'm meant to help in this lifetime. And then what I ended up doing is I drew a rocket ship with the heart upside down, with my voice underneath it. Those are 2 hands and 2 feet that are the fire. And then the brain and the ears are the pink things all around it, surrounding that inner Cindy 53.0, with a brain-shaped bubble of protection. Because in this lifetime of mine that I'm walking right now, there's no other way to put it except for that. This confidence piece, and what Melissa was making me realize, it's not confidence, but it's conviction. Using my voice, learning everything that I learn and letting it get into my heart, and then right back up into my voice, and having those hands and feet to kind of like walk myself to the people that this voice's message needs to get to, right? That is very fragile this lifetime. I don't know why that is. All I know is what my mother was like and what my grandmother was like. And then also my father's mother. I know a little bit about her. And so there's a certain evolution, I believe, that's happening within my lifetime. And so that part of me is very fragile. So that big, beautiful, puffy, pink brain is protecting this delicate, fragile voice box. And Cindy 53.0 is coming, but she has, she's very specific and unique. And I guess that's what my whole message is today, is that if you will just get to know your inner children, then you can give yourself so much self-love, because we are never going to get anywhere in this life if all we're doing is just like fighting against ourselves. And, the thing that Raina made me realize is that, just imagine if you have a stick shift. I can't drive a stick shift. I could, but I don't prefer to. And you're going up into 5th gear and you're cruising along, and then you just and go all the way back down to 1st gear. And then all the effort, all the damage that does to your engine going from 5th gear to 1st gear, and then all the effort it takes to go back up to 5th gear. Just imagine all of that energy. And if you could, and that's what I've been doing my whole entire life. I get courage to speak. I get all these guts up and all these brains up, and then I speak to the wrong people, or I will have this upper limit problem. I don't know any of you who have read Gay Hendricks' book, The Big Leap, but I'll have an upper limit problem, and I'll get a lot of courage, speak to a lot of people, and then I'll get sick, or then I went through a divorce, and it's just like, how many months and how many years can I keep going? Start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. And again, I'm not doing anything except for loving that version of me that went through that, because she's taught Cindy 53.0 stuff that she needs to learn, right? But now that I am Cindy 53.0 and I'm wanting that rocket ship to help my people, it's better for me not to spend so much of my precious energy each and every day kind of fighting against myself like this, doing the stops and starts, fifth gear to first gear, and all that. If you could just, what Raina made me realize, if you could just take this right here and turn it, instead of two above, this is how I saw what she was saying, instead of two arrows pointing toward each other, make those arrows go in a circle, and then get them working together, working together, working together, and then boop, all you gotta do is divert that attention somewhere else into another conduit. And maybe that's what Melissa was talking about with the conviction, right? Just get all that confidence, all those gears in place, and boom, conviction onto that phase of your life. And so I really hope that what I am saying resonates with you guys, and y'all understand what I'm saying, and you're gaining some inner wisdom from it, because I just know that if I'm going through this, that other people are going through it too. Because, like I said, there's nothing all that unique about any of us. We're just all having a human experience. And so I think if I'm going through some of these realizations right now, that perhaps some of you guys are too. And two more quick things that I wrote down on my notes. I wanted to make sure that I said. Number one, I don't know if y'all have ever heard this concept of maiden, matron, and crone, but the maiden version of a woman's life is from the time she was born until she starts becoming a mother, or she comes of mother, childbearing years. I don't even think you have to actually be a mother to go into the next phase. But the next phase is called either mother or matron, and that's our fertile years. So my goodness, that's a big portion of our lives, right? For me, it was age 14 to 52. So that's just shy of 30 years, right? So the first phase was only 14 years for me. The next phase was almost 30 years. And then the next phase, which is the longest phase, which is where I am right now, is the crone phase. It means we're not having to raise babies anymore. And we are here with all the wisdom from all of our, for the last 53 years for me, and the inner knowing and the intuition. And this is like the best, juiciest years of our lives, because we don't have to give every single thing that we have to our kids anymore. We've raised them hopefully to be independent adults, and now we can spend our time and our energy helping the people, a whole nother set of people that we're here to help. Because I only had two kids. I don't know about you guys, but I'm hoping to impact at least 500 people's lives, very intimately, in this last half of my life. I definitely think I'm going to live to 100. Both my grandmas lived to 90. So, number one, that I just wanted to introduce you to the concept of matron, matron, and crone. And crone is, I want to, in case no one's told you today, in my opinion, that's the best part of our life, where we have the juiciest strides, because we are just affecting change in so many people, and it can just be anything that you want it to be. If you get to know your inner children, and love on yourself and help yourself stop doing this, and don't hate any part of your life. It will all happen there for you, okay? And then the other thing I wanted to say is, I forgot to say this earlier when I was talking about the gestalts getting full. where the gestalts are housed or is in your subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind runs 96% of the show of our lives. Your conscious mind, which is your frontal lobe, that runs the other 4%. So the reason that my ideal client and my ideal audience are people that have gone through lots of different lessons and they realize they're still standing in their way is because all those lessons, the books, the therapists, the worksheets, all that is just been working with your conscious mind, and that's only running 4% of the show. So you literally cannot effort yourself and willpower yourself to death on getting where you want to just harnessing this. Or if you do, you're going to wear yourself out and get sick. So it's much better to have all of this, the 96%, helping this 4% do what it's doing. So that's about it of what I had to say today. Thank y'all all so much for being here today. I'll see you next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll still be here in Texas, but I won't be at Melissa's house anymore. I'll be at another friend's house, Jeba. But if you guys, like I said, if you want any information about the Jessica program, which is just about your physical health, that's all online and group setting only starting on Sunday, February 19th, then just write Jessica. And if you want information on the Soul Circle Academy, just DM me or put that in the comments too. And that's the 12-week online and, group and individual program where we really go in and just completely revamp your subconscious mind.